When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want access to my early content or future content, check out my Discord. This is the Red Devil of the Red Lantern Corps, Part 3. Now let's continue where we last left off in our story. As Vivian and the rest of the team follow her lead by exiting the transport train cabin and begin to search the small station on the outpost to make sure there's no hostiles nearby, she kept Draconis close to keep an eye on him. She's not an idiot. She knows there is something off about him. He's clearly different compared to the other super soldiers, regardless what they did to him or how they altered him. She can't help but still see him as a kid because how young he is. He's still a 14-year-old. He's still a 14-year-old boy. She's clearly more lenient towards the boy, almost outright kind sometimes. And the other squad members noticed, but they chose not to remark upon it. Lieutenant Vivian is well known for her vicious and great temper, so they would rather not angering the woman any further when there's weapons nearby. I want everyone to fan out. Don't travel alone. I want a team to head up to the second level of this transport station. Once you make contact, make sure not to engage and contact me immediately. So far, we somehow managed to stay under the radar. I would like it to keep it that way. Move out. Not you, cadet, you're with me. Understood. I have questions. Of what, ma'am? Don't play dumb. I saw the footage. I clearly saw you not wearing your helmet when you weren't in the protected bubble. He's referring to the energy dome that was surrounding the entire station where he originally was at. So you figured it out? Of course I figured it out. I'm not an idiot, nor am I a fool. I know for a fact none of the other super soldiers display such abilities. Well, everyone that was involved in the super soldier program has been altered. But when it comes to you, cadet, you're surrounded by red tape. Clearly the higher-ups has redacted a lot of information about you. I know for a fact no one of our species can breathe out in outer space like you can. I can't really tell you much. Why is that? I don't know much myself. I know my current abilities, like my telekinesis and cryokinesis. And I know I'm a lot more durable and stronger. than anyone else of our species. If you're that curious, when we get back, you should get more information from my curator. Wait, curator. My curator, Dr. Lizzie, can inform you more of the subject. I'll do that. I want you to double check your multi-tool weapon alongside with that energy gun I gave you. I want everything in working order before we move out. Understood. I'm doing that now. Good. You've done pretty good, so you've done a pretty good job, Cadet, so far. Thank you for your gratification, or thank you for your positive comments, but that won't be necessary. I'm only doing what I was created for. After checking, making sure everything is in working order, Draconis tries to get a good view of the station outside of the building and use his zoom in vision that he can naturally do with his eyes to get a feel of the situation outside. Draconis could see space pirates patrolling all around the outpost. The outpost itself is small but large at the same time. It's the size of a miniature city, basically what it is. It's a large outpost, so there's it's a good portion of space pirates can be seen. There is no sign of the robotic robots of yet, as Draconis noticed. So what's the situation outside? It looks like there's a good number of space pirates here on the outpost. No sign of our people, nor have I seen any of those robots yet. You can see that far? Let's just say I have good vision, and leave it at that. They seem to be unaware of our presence. I didn't give them much of a warning when their fellow scumbags at that station, little away from this outpost. And they were being attacked by other entities, so they weren't really trying to call for reinforcements. At least that's what I've noticed. It won't be long before they get suspicious. At least you would think so. It won't be long. They'll most likely send a scout or two to see why they went dark. Looks like we're still in the clear. The soldiers she sent up to the upper level finally return. Good, you're back. Report. Entire building has been secured. No sign of our people. Just dead bodies of the space pirates. Check your gear and weapons. From on now. Shoot to kill. Yes, ma'am. Vivian got close to the exit, to the door. As Vivian immediately began to use hand gestures to count down. With her hands, basically. 3, 2, 1. As they immediately burst through the door, as Vivian shot the first space pirate in the face with a well-placed shot with her energy rifle, killing the pirate instantly. As they continue this formation, moving together in a tight formation, covering each other's flanks, and eliminating any nearby pirates that got in their line of sight as they entered the first building. Vivian immediately ordered the soldiers to secure the building. It was a one-story building, so it wouldn't be too hard to secure the entire building. Once that was done, she had the whole place locked down on both sides of the building. There's two separate exits of the building. Vivian took out a small, flat, round device, like a disc, a flat disc, and place a small memory orb inside it as a digital blueprint of the entire outpost can be seen. Vivian turned the digital blueprint of the outpost to the side, then zoom in. This is our location. We are here. In one of the small warehouses they use for extra equipment. As you can see, as she gestured with her hand, the room is filled with several crates scattered all around. Vivian immediately zoomed out of the digital layout of the outpost and began to move towards a building on the other side of the outpost. That's our destination. We need to get there and acquire one of these laser drills. Will you be able to carry that? If I remember right, all super soldiers from the Empire has increased physical strength. Once again, Draconis' Battle Assistant UI activated as a digital dashboard showed up as a digital image of a 3D model of the laser drill. The laser drill is still considered weapon class equipment. It just happened to be better use as a drill instead of an actual tool to kill people with. This specific mining model that's on this outpost is clearly outdated. So this one's a lot larger compared to the new models of the laser drills. I shouldn't have an issue regardless of how large in size this drill is. Are they still using the Mark I laser drill on this outpost? This was the only outpost that hasn't managed to get any of the new models of yet. They were supposed to get some in the next shipment. That never happened for obvious reasons. This laser drill won't be an issue, man. Good. We'll need that. Just in case some more of those robots show up that you may contact previously. This might be one of our smallest outposts, but even our smallest is quite large in size. It's going to take some time to get all the way, or from here to all the way across the other side of the outpost. We're going to have to move swiftly and fast. It would be ideal if we keep our presence unnoticed. Otherwise, it'll make this mission a lot more difficult. We don't have the numbers for a frontal attack, even with the cadet with us. We'll sit tight for now. We'll move out in 15. Rest up while you can. We won't have any time for any resting in the future. Vivian leaned against the wall with her arms crossed from her chest, tapping the heel of her foot on the ground, trying to think of different types of strategies she could use in this situation she found herself in. Everyone suddenly was alerted by their battle assistant's UI activating at the same time, as there's a large buildup of energy being detected. You know what I mean. I'm not speaking well today for some reason. Energy signatures is fast approaching as Vivian took out a small metal device. The metal device turned into liquid metal, turning into some camera, a small camera that has several metal spider legs on it as it begins to move outside of the building, going through a small gap and climbing up on the side of the building wall and position its camera towards the direction of the build-up energy reading that is building up. As the image was immediately transferred to everyone's battle assistant UI, as they could see the image being captured by the camera. Several of the similar battle robots that Draconis fought previously begin to portal into the outposts. Immediately, a more powerful power signature skyrocketed. Something else is portaling in. When the energy built up to its peak, another something else portaled in that looks completely different compared to the previous robots. A robotic female jackal, as the female robot gazed around her surroundings and finally spoke for the first time that she's been on this planet, or now she's back on this planet. Capture half of them, kill the rest. Order confirm, processing. Done registering the order. The battle robots instantly begin to engage with the pirates. As Delta Omega, with her hands behind her back, with her robotic tail swaying from behind her, as she watches her soldiers engage the humanoid life forms. Delta Omega has already dealt with these organic life forms on this outpost by teleporting them all to her ship, that is, she's hiding on the other side of the planet that the moon orbits. Much like the first time she made contact with this outpost, they captured half of the population and killed the rest. I'd be fucking kidding me. What the fuck is that thing? Just by the look of it alone, whatever this thing is, looks of it, it looks far more advanced compared to the other robots. Shit. This is not good. This throws out all my plans I had. But at least I could still salvage this situation. We're small enough a team. We should be able to sneak past everyone. Distraction would be prudent, giving us enough time to acquire the Mark I laser drill. That robot's going to be a problem. It might spot us immediately. You're probably not wrong there. The moment we move, that female-looking robot will definitely notice. Look at that thing, how she's gazing upon the battlefield. Diversion is most likely the only option we have if we want to keep us unnoticed. What exactly are you implying? We need a distraction, so you could easily acquire what we need while they're too busy with dealing with the distraction. They won't notice you passing by them. You mean you. Of course. You'll never get there without a proper distraction, and the laser drill can't be carried by two people. I really don't see any other options, Lieutenant. I don't like this, but you're not wrong. Fine. You better not die. Trust me, Lieutenant. It's going to take a lot more than some advanced glorified trash can to kill me. I'm a lot harder to kill than that. I'll keep their attention off of you. I think it's about time I introduce myself to our new visitors. Draconis straightened up and quietly walked out of the building on the other side of the building, so Delta Omega won't be able to tell where he originally came from. Keeping his other squad team, or his team, rest of his team, unnoticed by the modern murder bots, as he begins to walk around the building to the front, as he sees the battle is raging on between the space pirates and the robotic murder machines. Delta Omega instantly took notice of another Imperia entering the battlefield. I don't know how you managed to keep yourself hidden and undiscovered, but your faith will be like the rest. So you do talk. I was starting to wonder if you were nothing but a glorified puppet. How amusing insults. If I was a biological life form, that probably would have enraged me. But I'm above such barbaric notions. I'm quite curious why you attack our outposts. To my knowledge, the Empire has never come across anything like you before. I'll humor you before I kill you. You are correct in your conclusion. We haven't come across your Empire before. Your fate will be the same as the other biological life forms we've came across. Doesn't matter what species you are. The only thing biological life forms are good for is their biomatter. You two, take him. Battle robots charge at Draconis at the same time. While Draconis doesn't seem bothered. He's already fought one of these things before, so he knows what to do and not to do. He clearly knows how to fight these advanced robots. Draconis caught both of their fists in the palm of his hand and started to push them back as he stared at them uninterestedly. You're far more weaker compared to the other one I completely dismantled. Draconis kicked one of the battle robots away as the robot fling into a wall on the side of the building hard, cracking it, while Draconis grabbed the other robot by the face as he slowly begins to crack its head. Then he shoved his fist into his chest plate of the robot. Then the robot exploded from the inside out, making the robot detonate in a large explosion. Delta Omega did not move. She kept her focus on him at all times. Delta Omega noticed the slight red physical energy shield covering the outline of Draconis' body. The battle robot that was kicked away earlier came charging back into the battle, only for Draconis to unleash fire out of his hand as a fire blast came flying towards the robot. As the fire begins to shape into a red fire dragon. Dragon made of fire. As it made contact with the battle robot, instantly it exploded. As the smoke is still raging from the explosion, leaving a slight crater. Suddenly, Delta Omega came bursting out of the smoke and slammed her tail across Draconis' face, sending him flying backwards, and crashing into one of the buildings. Delta Omega, with her hands still behind her back, land on her metal feet and began to walk towards the hole in the wall of the building. Delta Omega wrapped her tail around Draconis' neck and tossed him out of the building, crashing through the wall of the building as he slid across the metal ground. Draconis immediately hopped to his feet and hopped backwards, dodging a kick from Delta that hit the ground and made spiderweb cracks onto the metal floor of the outpost. Draconis finally skid to a stop. The moment Draconis managed to stop his momentum, Delta Omega was instantly in front of him. Delta Omega immediately grabbed Draconis by the face and began to run forward, slamming his head against all the walls of the building that she's running past. As she kept running and proceeded to slam his head against the ground while running full speed. Then she jumped in the middle of the air while still having a grip on Draconis' face and slammed him into the ground hard. Delta Omega kicked him away, hitting a large metal container that was nearby. Draconis didn't stay down for very long. As he hopped back on his feet, the cut above his eye burst into flame. As his cut was instantly healed, Delta Omega tilted her head to the side. She has fought, captured, and killed many of this species, but they've never displayed any type of regeneration properties before. Delta Omega was immediately on guard. I've never came across anyone like you of your species. I have decided, I've changed my mind. When I'm done putting you in your place, and when I cut you open to see what makes you special compared to your other species, and if you happen to survive, when I'm done researching you, I might keep you as my pet. Draconis narrowed his eyes as he shot out multiple fireballs from his mouth. Before they could even make contact with Delta Omega, some sort of energy field surrounded the female robot, leaving Delta Omega completely protected from the attack, as she was completely undamaged. Delta Omega finally removed her hands from her back and immediately created a small ball of energy in the palm of her hand as she threw it in the air. As that singular orb of pure energy increased in size, it kept increasing, getting bigger and bigger. Then suddenly it stopped and shrunk down, then immediately separated in hundreds and hundreds of smaller energy orbs surrounding Draconis from above, as it immediately begins to shoot down beams of energy. Each time the beam shoots out energy, the energy ball begins to decrease. So the more energy that gets shot out of these orbs, they get smaller until the orb dissipates completely. but there's hundreds and hundreds of them. But Draconis immediately, his instincts alerted him as Delta Omega came in rushing forward, dodging around all of her energy beams that's raining down upon Draconis, and began as Delta Omega engage in hand-to-hand combat, while Draconis is trying to dodge the beams of energy while fighting Delta Omega, making this fight a tad bit more difficult. After dodging several more waves of energy beams, Draconis had to dodge a metal tail sweep. Then immediately afterwards dodge a fast, powerful punch, forcing Draconis to dodge from dodging to blocking, using his forearm. Then immediately afterwards, landing a solid kick on Delta Omega, sending her skidding backwards. Draconis immediately charged forward, dodging several beams of energy that are still firing down upon him from above. Delta Omega and Draconis immediately begin to exchange kicks. Each time they threw out a punch, their fists collide. The same thing happened when they decide to use kicks in their battle, as their kicks would collide with each other. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Vivian and the rest of the squad begin to exit out of the building, noticing Delta Omega had her complete concentration on Draconis, and the rest of the robots are too busy engaging in battle with the space pirates to notice them. Giving her plenty of time to sneak past all the parties involved and making her way down the wide street of the outpost, she immediately had to dove into one of the windows of a building with the rest of her team and leaned against the wall as an incoming patrol of combat robots begin to walk past. As one of her men spoke, "Ma'am," and a whisper, "Ma'am, we have a corpse here." Vivian made her way over towards the singular corpse of one of the soldiers that was stationed here, holding on a energy rifle that's clearly has a bit more of a kick to it than her current energy weapon. She gently removed his hands from the rifle and took it as she immediately began to examine the weapon. It's one of the Empire's high condensed energy rifles that is used to take out large targets, specifically targets that have good defense or shielding. It's perfect type of weapon to pierce armor. Vivian immediately looked around and saw several ammo cartridges for the energy rifle. As a combat robot came rushing through the window, crashing right through the window that had glass. Well, the only glass window in the whole building. Then the combat robot immediately shifted his arm into a small energy cannon and immediately began to open fire upon Vivian and the rest of the Imperia soldiers. Vivian immediately yelled out her orders to spread out, as everyone in the room had to dodge beams of energy being shot towards them by their new guest. Vivian went into a roll, dodging several beams of energy that shot past her above her head, and immediately opened fire, unleashing a high cadence beam of energy that struck the combat robot in the shoulder, sending it flying back into the wall of the building. Vivian rushed towards the robot and slammed her foot onto the chest plate of the frame of the robot and pointed her rifle directly at the face and began to open fire. As she shot the robot in the face and chest multiple times until the weapon was completely out of ammo. As she reloaded the weapon with the energy cartridge and jumped off of the robot. As the robot clearly was non-functional, as she ordered her troops out of the building, as she threw a black small little ball made of unknown metal as she walks out, as the small metal orb begin to move and shift into two sides, as the two sides begin to separate from each other, revealing a glowing red energy orb that was getting brighter and brighter until there was a massive explosion that ignited the entire building, destroying the robot all alongside the building, as Vivian and the rest of her team has moved on further. The main building of the outpost is a tower, strapped right in the middle. This is like a small town, small city that surrounds it, for everyone that's stationed on this outpost to have a bit of privacy and a sense of home when they're not on a shift. Vivian and her team came to immediately stop, noticing a couple of space pirates. Noticing them and immediately opening fire upon Vivian and her team. Vivian rushed forward, dodging around the energy beams coming from their guns by the space pirates that are unleashing upon her. When Vivian was close enough, she created a red sword from her red crystal on the back of her wrist and cut down the first pirate in half, then spin around and kick the rifle out of his hand and plunge her sword into his chest, killing him. As she immediately began to face the secondary pirate instantly, as she chopped him down, thrusting her sword into his head, killing him instantly. As she instantly ordered her team to move forward, as the dead body of the pirate falls to the ground. Their path was immediately blocked by a full line of battle robots with a similar robot that Draconis is fighting. This one seemed different, almost looked like a fox-like or cat-like. The Alpha noticed the biological life forms. It seems like Delta Omega seems like she's losing her touch. Seems like we found ourselves some rats to squash. Open fire. The battle robots form a line and open fire upon Vivian and the rest of her squad, forcing them to seek solid cover to get out of fire in sight of the energy shots that are being fired upon them, basically. We're going to stop it there. I'll catch you guys in the next part.